Calm down,
You
big
know I
man.
play tonight? I wish you with you was on Sunday.
The moment was surreal. Two men, both larger than life, squared off. Martin Ford and Paul White. Years of internet buzz turned into real fists flying. This wasn't wrestling. This wasn't scripted. It was a real fight. Gritty, physical, unforgettable. And it proved giants can brawl with the best of them. In the blue corner stands Martin Ford, a towering 6'8" colossus from Birmingham who battled against the odds, transforming from a scrawny, uncertain teenager into an awe-inspiring 320 pounds of pure, chiseled muscle. Across the canvas looms the legendary Paul Big Show White, a 7-foot giant whose presence commanded arenas for over 20 years. Now, at 51, he has stunned the world once more, stepping into the unforgiving world of professional boxing. The sheer size difference between these two warriors is staggering. This is more than a fight. It's a monumental clash that will echo through the history of combat sports forever. Ford steps into this imagined battlefield carrying the weight of a legend in the making, an almost mythical figure whose presence alone would strike fear into most mortal hearts. Towering nearly 7 feet tall with a wingspan broad enough to envelop a small car, the former bodybuilder wields raw, sculpted power honed through decades of relentless iron discipline and unyielding determination. His journey, from a promising cricket player sidelined by injury to a bodybuilding champion and now an aspiring combat warrior, speaks volumes about a man who refuses to bow before limitations or doubt. The Brit's physical transformation is nothing short of awe-inspiring. What began as a desperate effort to overcome a rugby injury that shattered his cricket dreams evolved into an obsession with perfection and strength. Ford didn't simply build muscle, he forged a living weapon. His bench press shatters 400 pounds, his deadlift nears an earth-shaking 600, and his commanding presence has not only dominated gyms, but earned him roles in Hollywood, where his towering form and raw power say more than any line of dialogue ever could. Yet beneath that imposing exterior lies a complex challenge. Ford's venture into combat sports reveals both his immense strengths and fragile vulnerabilities. His amateur boxing roots give him fundamental striking skill, while recent MMA training has introduced him to the brutal art of grappling and ground combat. But maintaining such a colossal frame demands staggering energy, raising the all-important question: can this powerhouse end fight swiftly before exhaustion sets in? Perhaps Ford's greatest weapon lies beyond his physicality, the unbreakable mental fortitude that fuels every rep, every fight, every step of his journey. The discipline to maintain his Herculean physique year-round speaks to a psychological resilience many elite athletes only dream of. When Ford commits, he does so with the fire of a man possessed, unyielding, relentless, and ready to shatter any obstacle. In those moments when others falter, it may be his iron mind that turns the tide. Big Show brings something Martin Ford has never encountered: 3 decades of grueling, unforgiving professional combat experience. Though WWE blends sport with entertainment, its physical toll is painfully real. White has endured brutal punishment and delivered devastating blows to some of the toughest warriors on earth. His recent boxing debut at 51 proved that beneath the battle scars, his competitive fire still blazes fiercely, untamed and relentless, even as the years weigh on his body. The American Giant's wrestling background gives him advantages that raw strength alone cannot match. Years of mastering leverage, body positioning, and psychological warfare against world-class opponents have honed his instincts to a razor's edge. Big Show doesn't just use his size, he wields it like a weapon, conserving precious energy while delivering maximum destruction. His legendary chokeslam and knockout punch aren't mere wrestling theatrics. They're brutal, fight-ending moves that could crush any opponent in an instant. What makes Big Show truly dangerous in this matchup is his unshakable endurance. Decades spent in punishing 20-minute matches taught him the arts of pacing, knowing when to strike and when to hold back. skills that separate mere brawlers from true professionals. His recent boxing training has only sharpened this stamina, arming him with the resilience to survive early onslaughts and exploit foes who crumble as rounds wear on. Beyond physicality lies his ironclad mind. Big Show has performed under the spotlight of millions, faced pressure that would break ordinary men, and remained calm in the eye of every storm. This psychological mastery, fused with his natural charisma and uncanny ability to read opponents, makes him not just a fighter, but a mental juggernaut, growing stronger, sharper, and deadlier as the battle drags on. Round 1 would ignite with Ford charging forward, determined to unleash his overwhelming power right from the start. His aggressive combinations, fast, relentless jab crosses would slice through the air as he looks to shake Big Show's legendary composure. The energy in the arena would crackle, with Ford's amateur boxing skills sharpening each strike, aiming to exploit any sign of ring rust or weariness in the veteran giant. But Big Show, seasoned by decades of brutal battles, would absorb the early storm like a mountain unmoved. Calm and calculating, he'd study Ford's patterns, waiting for the perfect moment. His wrestling instincts would kick in, expertly tying Ford up when needed, using his reach and height to control space and pace. Patience would be his weapon, knowing that Ford's fierce, explosive assault can't last forever. As the middle rounds arrive, the real test begins. Ford's iron will would be challenged as the fight demands more from his massive frame. Each power shot would grow heavier to summon, his breath shallower. Meanwhile, Big Show would seize the moment, stepping forward with a sharper jab to disrupt Ford's rhythm, eyes gleaming with intent, hunting for that devastating right hand to turn the tide. Momentum would shift like a tidal wave. Big Show's mastery of the ring would emerge, cutting off escape routes, forcing Ford to fight harder and dig deeper. The veteran's unshakable timing and measured pace would expose cracks in Ford's assault, his lightning-fast combinations beginning to slow under the relentless pressure. Round 4 would become the crucible. Ford, drained but defiant, would feel his once thunderous power fade like a dying storm. Sensing weakness, Big Show would press with renewed confidence, every step deliberate, every move calculated from years of experience reading opponents like open books. Ford would try to mask his exhaustion, but the giant would see through the facade. Then comes the defining moment. Ford summons one last desperate burst, a right cross charged with everything he has left, a punch that could have ended the fight in earlier rounds. But Big Show, with the wisdom of countless battles etched into his instincts, slips the blow with a grace born of hard-earned skill. In an instant, he counters with a crushing short right hand, landing flush on Ford's chin. The impact reverberates through the arena, precise, devastating, not the hardest punch of the night, but perfectly timed as Ford's legs betray him, unable to carry the weight of a fallen giant. What follows would be a masterclass in finishing. Big Show, sensing Ford's growing fatigue and wounds, would not rush recklessly. Instead, with calm precision, he would systematically break down Ford's defenses. The accumulated damage and crushing exhaustion would leave Ford vulnerable to shots he once avoided effortlessly. The fight would end in round 5 via technical knockout. Big Show's patient pressure would overwhelm Ford's valiant but fading attempts to stay standing. Despite his warrior's heart, Ford would no longer intelligently defend himself. The referee would step in, ending the battle as Big Show's experience proved too much. Big Show wins because experience ultimately beats raw power. Ford's strength and short burst conditioning are impressive, but 3 decades of professional combat have given Big Show unmatched fight IQ. His mastery of pace, adaptability, and endurance would be decisive. Ford's journey from bodybuilder to fighter is remarkable, earning respect from all. Yet, in this clash of giants, Big Show's wisdom and ring savvy eclipse Ford's physical gifts. This battle reminds us why combat sports captivate. Sometimes, skill and heart outlast sheer size and strength.